Fine. Good evening. This is another Thursday episode of Cat Space. I'm sorry you can't see our faces at the moment due to certain issues, but we are here with you tonight. With me tonight is myself, Buckets, and Leon. Good evening. How are you?
I'm putting my hand up. Oh crap, but not on camera. How are you? I'm doing all right.
So, welcome
Been
to
a little bit busy today. I've been a little bit busy today, but I've been all right.
Welcome to our new subscribers and current and viewers as well. We're about to do a fun topic today.
Yes, so I don't know if anyone's realized this yet. I've got some subscribers already, or at least some members, for my own personal Facebook page called Oven Hero. And basically what it is it's just people taking pictures of whatever they had for dinner or lunch or whatever, and then just posting it. You know, we're not going to basically yell at you or scream at you or tell you it's burnt, which I got from other basically Facebook pages, by the way, last week.
So
this is not Gordon Ramsay's kitchen nightmares, by the way.
No, it's not. It's Phil's kitchen nightmares instead.
So I'd like to welcome into the conversation for tonight's Oven Hero Cat Space special episode. So let's get started. Favorite foods. Question 1 is, if you could choose to eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, who are you going with first?
We'll go with you, Leon.
All right. Oh mate, I tell you what I do like. I do like the KFC's chicken because it's nice and it's got that nice, skin, that's that fried skin around it. Plus it's all nice and greasy and it's yummy, and I'll just get the oil on my hands. Well, not that it has anything to do with it, but I like the KFC chicken.
It's funny you should just mention that, because I actually made my own version of KFC chicken last week. Put that on Oven Hero actually, and that actually worked out pretty well. But if I was to pick one meal that I would basically eat for the rest of my life, I would probably go probably pork chops. That would be my thing. That would be my go-to.
Oh, yes.
And if that was like if it was crumbed pork chops, yeah, I'd eat that every single day and not even complain about it.
Especially the pork chops if they got just a little bit of salt on it. Oh yes.
Yeah, if my mom was to say, Phil, if you want an inheritance, you have to eat pork chops every single day, I'd just go, yes, I'm not going to complain about that. I'll just do it. What about you, Kat?
I think for me would have to be a chicken schnitty burger with lettuce, tomato, mayo, garlic aioli, and a side of salad. Oh my God, I would eat that every single day. But because it's fatty, I think if I could eat one for the rest of my life, that would be it. Chicken schnitty burger with a lot.
Well, it's not really that much fatty, because just remember you did add salad with it. But it's kind of like a Subway schnitty. But
with a twist, adding a pineapple to the chicken schnitty burger.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Pineapple. Add pineapple to anything and it's a win.
Yes, sir. Even on pizzas.
Yeah.
Pizzas, definitely pizzas. I have Hawaiian pizzas all the time.
Sorry to all the anti-pineapple people out there. Pizza, pineapple, burger, pineapple, steak, pineapple. Tasty, delicious.
Yeah, I've actually had friends of mine that have literally said to me, would you put pineapple on a pizza? And I'd say, yes, I would. And then they come back and say, it's not a pizza if you put pineapple on it. I just think about these people. Just get a life. Have some pineapple.
Yeah. That argument, I don't know why that's always an argument, but it always seems to be. I mean, fair income. There's been Hawaiian pizzas forever.
Yeah.
You know what? I really do like the there's two kinds of pizzas that I like. Obviously, one would be the Hawaiian pizza, and I could get that I could get that from my local kebab shop just down the road. But as far as another type of pizza I'd like, it's the barbecue meatloaf, and I get that from Pizza Hut because that is absolutely yummy.
Next question: what is your guilty favorite food? Guilty pleasure.
It's funny that you guys are talking about pizzas, because I would totally go for an apple pizza.
Apple pizza.
Yes. In fact, I remember
we have a fruit salad pizza. That'd be mad.
That would not be good. But I remember when Pizza Hut started doing apple pizzas at their all you can eat buffet, And
Really? I don't remember that ever. I don't remember them ever doing that.
no, but you had to actually go to the shop to order it. You couldn't deliver it. They wouldn't do a delivery for some stupid reason.
Right.
And it was great. It was just like eating apple pie on a pizza. And it was great, and I loved it. And I think I loved that more than Supreme at the time. And then after that, I just have, the desserts that go with it. But I was just like, I'm just eating apple pie on a pizza. This is fantastic.
Oh,
I
one of
think
my,
for
one of
me-
my guilty pleasures. You talk about guilty pleasure. I think my favorite guilty pleasure is eating that Neapolitan ice cream.
Oh God, that's awesome. Isn't
Oh,
it?
that is yeah, that and have say chocolate topping on it, and then having or better yeah, not quite the chocolate topping. I mean, having like Milo as a topping on it, and then having that ice Cotties, thick chocolate topping as well. The one that hardens up when you start putting it on.
Yeah, that stuff was great. That stuff was
Yep.
really awesome.
That's one of my guilty pleasures. Another one of my guilty pleasures, I haven't seen it around in, God knows how long, but it used to be the frozen Neapolitan ice creams. It's not really, sorry, not frozen ones, the dry Neapolitan ice creams. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't actually. What's it
You
like?
used to be able to buy. You used to be able to buy them in like a pack. It used to be on the shelf, but not in the freezer. But it was dry ice cream, Neapolitan ice cream, and that was so yummy. I have not seen one in ages, but if I ever find one again, like I'll take a picture and I'll send you guys a copy of it. This is what it actually looks like.
that'd be
It's
cool.
just dry Neapolitan ice cream. It's beautiful. And I'm sure your old school listeners who are listening in, who listen to this podcast, might recognize what I'm talking about here, because that I always love that one.
I think my guilty pleasure, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Shameful plug, Max Brenner's chocolate pizza. Oh my God, with marshmallows, nuts, chocolate sauce, melted chocolate, everything chocolate.
Oh my.
And a $2 chocolate pot next to it and sprinkle on top of it. A chocolate pizza, Max Brenner. I'm plugging you guys. The bomb. Guys, if you're listening to the podcast.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Yeah, they don't pay us enough for
Hashtag-
this, Cat.
Yeah, exactly.
That is my guilty pleasure. I'm sorry if I was to order that and bring it home or have it sent delivered to me, and Philip, I think that would be the most delicious thing I've ever eaten, because it is just delicate and rich and delicious, and the crust is gorgeous, and it's a dream come true. And you have strawberries on it. Oh my God, my mouth is watering talking about that. Shameful plug.
One thing about you just mentioned all that chocolate and stuff like that. I don't know if people change the flavor of the chocolate, but for the longest time now, I have not been able to have that chocolate or much of the chocolate at all, because for I don't know if it started with the milkshakes or the chocolate shakes or whatever it was, but I don't know if they changed the flavor on it. But ever since then, or ever since a certain time, I can't remember exactly what time it was, I don't feel well. I feel like nauseous and stuff like that after I've had it. I'm not sure what it is, but it started with the oat drink, and it's pretty much worked its way through the chocolate thick shakes and even getting the choc top or whatever it was from Donut King. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they've changed the flavor, but I really can't drink the chocolate stuff these days because it just makes me feel nauseous.
Yeah, I can't drink it either.
Like it could be like a lower quality chocolate. And
I find it too sweet.
Yeah, I could believe that, because they want to do cost cutting and things like that. So, and honestly, if probably the best chocolatey sundae that I've probably ever had would be in the Pentagon in the Blue Mountains, but they don't do that anymore. And that had like this really good dollop of chocolate at the bottom of the sundae, and basically the best ice cream you'd ever tasted in your life. And, best milk. Like, they wouldn't get cheap milk, they'd get Buller milk, so they get all the sweet milk kind of thing. And if you actually had enough money, which I didn't, you could actually get gold sprinkled all over it. So
Nice.
So it was actually a really, really good one. They sold it to really famous people and stuff like that, or anyone who could afford it. But
Gold's come back in style now, especially on Kit Kats. That's an example of the gold stuff.
Mm.
I think if we look back on, when we were younger, chocolate tasted, not that I'm bagging chocolate or the taste of it or the ingredient, but chocolate tasted like chocolate. I mean, I didn't,
Oh yes.
you go to, just like Max Brenner, but you go to sort of a cafe, or like you go to an ice creamery when you're little, and they give you that sundae or that thick shake or milkshake, or they give you that dessert, and you're getting pure 100% chocolate, and it's so tasty and rich and decadent, and you just want to go for more, and you eat to the point you get sick. But the thing is, nowadays, as we're much older, wiser, chocolate is still chocolate, but it's not as how our memory depicts it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the recipes have changed. So the Cadbury chocolate, for example, that's actually changed. So they changed, it got, taken over, and they wanted to get cheaper chocolate, and that's exactly what they did. But like, I wish, and I really wish, that they used the same chocolate that they did from the 80s to the 90s, because that was really something special. When you open the packets, it made you feel like you're opening velvet kind of thing, even though it wasn't velvet. But I remember when they changed it from velvet to cardboard kind of thing, and they changed the recipe as well. And I'm like, oh, this is okay, but it's not what it used to be. So I kind of missed that about Cadbury's. But yeah.
Next question: if you could recreate a dish from your childhood, what would it be?
Recreate. Do you know what I really miss? I miss hundreds and thousands. For me, I'd probably just put that on some fairy bread and things like that. That's what I do.
Oh yes, put that on white bread. Boom, there you go. Hundreds of thousands. But you can still get the hundreds and thousands stuff. I can get that from my local shop.
I don't know. Recreate something from my childhood. I don't know. I mean, like, that's a tough one, because if I would probably recreate anything, it would probably be the splice. Because I don't know if you actually know this, but splice used to come from the idea of a splice. Actually used to be an alcoholic cocktail, and then they turned it into a frozen ice cream. So if I had to recreate anything, it would probably be the alcoholic version of splice.
I think splice these days, isn't that like a sorbet with ice cream in the middle of it?
That's right. So lemons or lime.
I used to be able to make sorbet when I was in TAFE. It's just been such a long time since I did it.
I think for me, I would have to say a proper, I know parents make this for their kids on a weekly basis, which is a staple in Australian families, but I'd get my mom to teach me how to make the old-fashioned spaghetti. Even though we make it nowadays with mince, when mothers do it, it has that sort of sweetness and that love and that nourishment, and you could taste the tomato paste, which didn't taste like tomato paste, tastes like ketchup, and you'd have the meatballs that tasted beautiful and succulent and just mouth-watering, and it just melts in your mouth, not compared to, which is now it's still tasty, but you had that childhood memory of a proper spaghetti dish, and you could taste the noodles or the spaghetti, and you could taste the sauce, and you could taste the meat and the garlic, and you could taste just the decadence of it. I think we need to really invest in going back to our childhoods and really looking at dishes that our parents made and recreating that memory, which opens up our minds so that we could teach our nieces and nephews and their families and our families to really make again. I think spaghetti for me, old-fashioned spaghetti.
Yeah, with spaghetti in my family, what we would do is we would basically add a bay leaf into it, because then you get like the nutty flavor from the bay leaf. And even though you wouldn't technically eat the bay leaf, if you put 3 bay leaves in the spaghetti mixture, that would be enough for the whole sauce to stay like bay leaves, and that was fantastic. And that's something that my mum used to do, just to make it a little bit different. So yeah, I mean, like, I think everyone's got their own kind of spaghetti kind of thing, but that's what I.
What do you think of my spaghetti? Childhood spaghetti
Uh,
thing.
I just want spaghetti bolognese right now, but I've already had my dinner.
You know what I used to do as a little girl with my spaghetti, because I don't eat cheese. That's a long story. But I would get, like the nachos, not in the chips packets, but the nachos you buy at the supermarket, the really tasty nachos, and I'd crumble them up and I'd put them in the spaghetti and I'd mix it. So you
Oh
get
yeah.
the extra sort of delicious spaghetti crunch. As silly as that sounds.
One of the things that my old mate used to do, right? And I'm not making this up. Now that you mentioned nachos, you used to dip nachos in vanilla yogurt.
Not just in
Oh.
I kid
okay,
you
would that be
not.
like
That's what happened.
Greek yogurt that you're doing it? Because I've heard that's pretty good. So
Well, that's actually an interesting point. I don't know if you've ever gotten. I don't know if to dip it in ski yogurt and the vanilla yogurt. It was like you used to get like a bag of Doritos or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and he would just dip it in the yogurt, in the vanilla yogurt, and have it that way. I always thought that was weird, but if he
Hello?
anyway,
Uh-oh.
over to you.
Here we go.
okay.
Okay, sorry. We thought we lost you.
I'm still here. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us? Hello?
Anyway,
Can you hear us?
Do you want to say that again for our audience? Since
I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Can you repeat that again?
No, this is not going well.
Oh, that's all right. I can.
I'm still here.
I can hear you perfectly.
I can hear perfectly. Can you
We're
repeat
talking
what you
about
said?
Doritos.
Yeah, can you repeat that again?
We're talking about all right. We're talking about Dorito chips, right? A mate of mine used to dip Dorito chips in vanilla yogurt.
Yes, So I kind of find that either a good substitute for that would be Greek yogurt itself, because Greek yogurt is quite strong, or even sour cream would be my go-to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
So
Before we lose them, next question. What foods are you most likely to cook in lockdown?
Let's see.
Leon?
Oh, okay. Oh wow. I usually either cook snitties with pasta or chops with pasta or chops with veggies. That's something that seems to be a regular during lockdown. But I always like to switch stuff up. Just throw a little bit of different. Like you mentioned earlier with spaghetti bolognese, I would switch it up once in a while with spaghetti bolognese or something. That's a lot of fun.
Well, actually, what I'm about to basically cook at the moment is something that I like to refer to as the $40 potato bake, right? And I know other people online have done versions of it, but mine is basically potato, cream, ham, and I would use cheeses like tasty cheese, and also more expensive cheeses like brie that you might get at Aldi, or Camembert that you might get at Aldi. Because the thing is about Aldi is that their cheeses are actually really, really good value. So you can basically create a beautiful potato bake for a really, really low cost of money. And I put egg in there as well and stuff like that, and it would rise quite nicely. And it's just kind of like you can have that. If basically you cook it straight away, it's really nice when it's cooked straight away. But basically, because you put it in like a deep dish, you can section it off and you can have a piece of potato bake over a number of days and it'd still be good, and you just put it in the microwave for 50 seconds and it's good. So that would probably be my lockdown food that I'd do, because getting hold of ingredients like cheese, cream, potatoes, ham, those sorts of things are fairly easy to get hold of. So that would be my lockdown lockdown recipe if I was to choose one.
I mean, for me, just quickly, I love to bake. So I would probably get the cookie boxes. And I think I would either make cookies, simple, they come in a bag in the box, butter, eggs, or I would make the apple pastéis or the apple pies, fill the pastry, let it thaw out, get the canned apples, take all the sugary syrup out of it, apples in a bowl with a little bit of cinnamon, mix it together on the filler pastry, put a little bit of oil on the top in the oven, 10-15 minutes, boom. I think that for me has been a staple in our household because it's quick, easy, boom, do it, hassle-free, not much to wash up, and it's just tasty. It's just crunchy, tasty, super.
What about some good old fashioned pancakes?
Oh yes,
Oh yeah, we've
I
talked
love
about that,
pancakes.
weren't we?
But
Yes, yeah.
butter and sugar, man. Oh, what a
And
combo.
milk, flour, butter, sugar.
Milk.
No, flour. I don't put butter in mine. I put flour, sugar, and milk in mine, and I mix it till it's really, really thick, and
Oh,
into
yes.
a bowl. And then frying pan, a little bit of oil, not too much. Put in the pan, flip it over, do the next one, and you can add. Some people like, original honey. Some people, like myself, prefer Canadian maple syrup.
Oh yes, definitely maple syrup. Oh
But
yeah.
there was one time that I surprised Philip when I made, because usually I just make not just plain pancakes. But there was one moment, just quickly, is I made not just pancakes, but I got the bacon rashers out of the fridge and I cut them up and I, fried them with a little bit of oil to not make them too fatty to get them to crisp up. So I made pancakes with bacon as a
That's a
side.
different combination.
Yeah, so we had that on the day after New Year's Eve, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we had a couple of friends stay over when it was still safe to have people over. And we fed, I think Gordo, Lisa.
You, me, Gordo, and Lisa. Yeah, I would manage to feed 4 people in one sitting.
Yeah, just off that one dish. Because we got totally plastered the night before, and so we needed something basically to fill us to get over the hangover.
But
and that was the perfect dish.
Can I tell our subscribers and viewers, and all our viewers out there, if you get the pancake shake bottle from the supermarket, that's great. But for me, it's all about, I'm not a chef, but it's all about the make it yourself. Get the flour, get the milk, put in some sugar, mix it together, taste. It's always important to taste your food. If it needs more sugar or it needs a little bit of salt, or if you feel like putting an egg, or if, it's just important to, in lockdown has taught us to use healthy, good, nutritious food, and sometimes be a little naughty and have a little bit of sugary stuff in our diet. So it's all about, the home feel of it. Next question. What is the worst food you've eaten?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Leon?
Well, Leon, I think you better answer this first because
Wow. I think to be honest, and this might surprise a few people, the worst thing I had was fish. And it was twice when I was in my teens where I had fish and I ended up with food poisoning twice. So that's why, from that point on, I really stayed away from the fish because, to me, it wasn't that good. To me, it was terrible. I was in bed for days. So yeah, there you go. That's for me. Fish was probably my worst.
What about you, Kat?
I think it was one time I tried a teriyaki chicken with salad. And oh my God, let me tell you, it was the worst food in the world. The salad and the vinaigrette was completely disgusting. The fish was disgusting. It was all created wrong. And you could tell why, for the life of me, chicken teriyaki salad, wrong. Sorry, because the teriyaki was so pungent and so strong, and the vinaigrette was strong, and it was just so weirdly, oddly mismatched. I wouldn't eat that again. No, sorry. You? Buckets?
Probably the worst one I had was probably, coming from an Asian background, we love our fish. And we'll pretty much eat anything, including the table leg at Christmas time. Or at least attempt.
Including a tape. All right, so you heard that first, guys, on Cat Space. Phil likes table legs.
Yeah, so probably the worst I've actually had is tongue at a Chinese restaurant. And I know it's a delicacy in China, but it just feels weird that you're chewing on a tongue. And it just didn't sit right with me that I was chewing on a tongue. Oh, but if I was probably to name probably the worst one I probably ever had was probably lamb's brain. That was the worst
Oh,
I ever had.
Awful.
Yeah.
you don't even like tongue when you're French kissing.
Yeah.
Zing. Okay, next question. What is the best dessert you have ever eaten?
Oh, yep, definitely. Nothing beats like I said earlier, nothing beats a Napoleon ice cream with Milo or Nesquik or whatever it is, and have that Cotties topping that just hardens up after like a few seconds. Nothing beats that. That is insert drool here material.
What about you?
I'll wait. You go. I'm
just
thinking. I'm
Yes.
thinking.
What
What have you say?
Probably the best dessert I've had. You know what? I think probably the best I've had was probably a blueberry crumble. That's probably the best one I've had. That with mango ice cream. So, although I have to say there was a restaurant that I used to go to, and they did do a really nice blueberry cheesecake. That was probably the best, and that was at a restaurant called Little Snails. I
Is it a French restaurant?
It's a French restaurant, yeah. And that
There you go.
so
Shameless plug.
well, I mean, like I went there with my dad, but it was a small restaurant, and then all of a sudden it became a chain. So that was probably the best dessert that I can basically think of that I really loved. And it was fantastic. And back then it was like $8, and now it's like $21 now. So
You need to count for inflation.
yeah, inflation. I mean, so it was.
Was the service fast or slow as? Or slow as a snail?
No, it was pretty fast. But it was that was probably the best. If I had to pick one, that was probably the best one I've ever had, to be honest.
I think for me, again, goes back to ice cream on a really hot summer day. You're out in the city. Shameless plug, going to the QVB one time, I remember, and there was a gelato place. It's not there anymore. There was a gelato place. And
now that you mentioned, go on. Go on, and I'll chime in afterwards.
And they had, believe it or not, I call it the Ferrero Rocher ice cream. They call it, I think it has a similar name, but in the ice cream, I mean, it's so chocolatey. And in the ice cream, you actually got pieces of Ferrero Rocher, and it was just like so delicious. And it was on the cone, and I remember just being a hot day, and that Ferrero Rocher in the QVB has never ever escaped my mind to this day. And I still remember, if I close my eyes, I can remember the taste of it. It's so delicious.
Right. Okay, there used to be a place, I don't know if it's still around now, but it was called Ice Rock. It used to be called the Ice Rock Cafe or whatever it was. Well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but you're able to mix up to 3 toppings, and also you get to mix like little extra ingredients like Smarties and M&Ms and stuff like that, and mash them into it as well. I think there was one at Olympic Park. I'm not sure if there still is one these days, but I used to go to the I think it was I don't know if it was called Ice Rock or Cold Rock or one of those two, but you used to be able to get those ice cream. You used to be able to get up to 3 scoops of ice cream, get it mashed into a bowl with all sorts of other lollies and stuff like that. That is unreal. If you ever have one of them, mate, your mouth would be drooling for days.
I think you're onto something, because what broke my heart was one of my favorite places in New South Wales was a place called Yogurtland. And Yogurtland, you could go in, friendly customer service, wonderful customer service, and you had a different array of yogurt ice creams. And toppings and, delectables, like you said. You'd pick, like, for example, chocolate or strawberry and mango in one big cup, and you could get
No, would mash it, didn't? No, would mash it together.
yeah, and you'd get like cookie dough, M&Ms,
Yeah.
Maltesers, you'd get lollies, you'd get all the things from your childhood that you remember. And as sad as it is, when the pandemic hit us, they were forced to shut down all their stores in Australia and say goodbye because they couldn't have anybody visiting their stores. I mean, had they stayed open and did takeaway, they would have made a lot of money. But I was,
Click and collect.
yeah, or done a lot of money, or had a lot of money delivering. But the thing is, it's so
Oh, yeah.
sad because those places you could go in and you felt like a child again, where you were at an ice creamery, when you were 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and you picked your own ice cream, you picked your own flavors and the ice cream sauces and the toppings. I mean, that for me, I think when we still live in Penrith, there was a place similar to it, but nothing beats Yogurtland. And I hope one day they decide to reopen it, because just sitting there, how fun is it to, feel like a kid and choose your ice cream and the toppings and the desserts. Like,
I think there's a yogurt split. I think there's a yogurt place in Blacktown. I'm not exactly sure if it's the one that you're mentioning. I'm not even sure if it's still there, to be honest, but I know there was one in Blacktown, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's the one you call, but it did have yogurt on it.
now
There was two. There was Yogurtland and what was the other one?
it was Yogurtland.
Yeah, Yogurtland.
But yeah.
So we're gonna.
You know what? Speaking of desserts, there was one. I don't know how they managed to do it, but I don't know if it was a Chinese restaurant or some restaurant, but they were able to deep fry a Mars bar. How do you figure that out?
Okay, so
Yeah.
what you do is you could either do the big size ones or you could do the little miniature size ones. You get them in a fun pack at Kmart or anywhere in the supermarket. You take the Mars bar packets, okay, open the wrapper, take the chocolate, dip it in the flour, dip it in the batter,
Yeah.
and fry it.
Yeah, I was like, how do you manage to fry it without the chocolate melting? How do you?
okay.
How?
It does melt inside, because what happens is when you fry it, it's so sickeningly sweet that when you bite into it while it's hot, the caramel and the chocolate will actually melt in the mouth. Like, it really does melt. But what they do is they just dip it in the flour and in the batter, and they really hanker it into the batter, and it just fries. And it's just, oh my God, but the heart attack waiting to happen, but it's sickeningly sweet.
Yeah,
not only does it melt in your mouth, it melts in your pants.
I just like to point out, like just in case any chocolate company is actually listening right now, I realize that you've got fun size of everything, but like, it would be more fun if it was bigger. Just putting it out there.
Let's not be too this is a fun topic. Now I'm going to hand this over to Buckets, because this last segment is his idea. Let's go.
So we're going to play the Oz Harvest Challenge, and the rule is we're going to basically throw a couple of foods at you, and you have to basically create a recipe off the top of your head at 3 minutes. And I had a friend of mine who actually did this for a job, where Oz Harvest would just give him random foods, and he had to legitimately come up with a dish for which he would teach to people doing a life skills course in a lot of the charities that he worked at. So if you can actually do this within 3 minutes, we'll give you a point.
I hope you're listening, Oz Harvest. Okay, so let's start with the topics.
So
That's all right. Oz Harvest won't have anything to worry about, because it'd probably take me 3.5 minutes to come up with something that should take about 1 minute.
Okay, right. So I'm going to throw like 3 random foods at you, and you've got to basically.
Okay.
I'll be gentle. Okay, so let's see.
I'm not even wearing my helmet either, so.
Well, you might need a tinfoil helmet. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so Oz Harvest gives you 2-minute noodles, chicken, and frozen mixed vegetables. What do you make? Go on. You've got 3 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm going to time you, Leon. See if you can do it. Give me a second. I'll get my clock out so I can time you. You know.
Oh God!
I don't have the 60 minutes clock.
So what was it?
Let's get the.
What was it? 2-minute noodles and what?
Okay, so it's 2-minute noodles, chicken, frozen vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables, and your time starts now. Go.
Okay, so we make 2-minute. So we got the 2-minute noodles. We got the frozen veggies. Let's see. I can't remember what it's called, to be honest, but I know you could. I know you could you can have deep fry that all that in about 1 and a bit minutes. But you mix it all together. And you've got veggie noodles. There you go.
Veggie noodles. What about the chicken? Doesn't sound very vegetable to me.
You can mix that in.
Yeah, there we go. Bing, got it. 30 seconds. Congratulations. Your turn, Kat.
Okay.
Oz chicken, whatever you Oz vegetables,
What
whatever
are
you
you
think
giving
are.
me, chef?
Okay, so you get bread, smoked salmon, and let's see, we'll give you let's do something really awful. How about ham? Go on. Ham,
Okay,
smoked salmon,
so-
and bread. What do you do?
White toast bread, butter, ham, garlic aioli, spinach, ham, and tomatoes. Put butter on the other piece of bread. Done.
So you got a toasty.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Congratulations.
Oh man.
Now my turn.
I think I'll give you tasty cheese.
Give him the hardest
Yeah, give
possible
us the hardest
ingredients to
one.
find.
Okay.
You can put in
Just as
5 ingredients.
revenge for what he's put us through.
Okay. Tasty cheese, chicken,
Yep, chicken.
mixed vegetables,
Yep.
and baked beans.
You want to give me a 5th one?
And chicken.
So you got what? Chicken.
Uh-huh.
What's the other one?
Mixed vegetables,
Mixed vegetables.
cheese,
Yep.
baked beans.
It sounds like a MacGyver escape.
Bread. Go.
Bread. Oh, far out. What am I going to do with this? And bread. Okay. Well, let's see. I know. I'll put baked beans on top. Okay. I'll have to basically fry it up. I'll have to butter it to make it taste good. Then I'll put chicken over it. I'll put frozen mixed vegetables, and you got cheese on top. I'll fry up the cheese, flip it over so it basically forms a crust, and hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
25 seconds. 25 seconds. Congratulations.
MacGyver would like that escape. How'd you get out of that?
I'll tell you what.
Where's Richard Dean Anderson when we need him?
Exactly. I'll tell you what, subscribers and viewers, new, current, and upcoming and new currents, as well, and viewers, we are throwing the Oz Harvest Challenge your way. Now, all you have to do is here are the ingredients: chicken, frozen mixed vegetables, corn, smoked salmon, baked beans, bread, tasty cheese, and 2-minute noodles. Now, your challenge from us 3 is to recreate something within 3 minutes. And you've only got 3 minutes. Once you're done, take a photo. You can either send it to us and follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/CatSpacePodcast, or Oven Hero Facebook page. Or you could go to our CatSpace Facebook page as well. Or you could send it to Leon as well and let us know what
Don't send it to me. Send it to you guys. I'll
And you
probably
as
eat the
well.
recipe.
and you as well. And then whoever does the
Nah.
best 3 minutes, we will declare the winner, give them a shout out, and thank them for the recipe as well, because we will do it ourselves.
Yeah, because we needed the ideas, basically.
So here you go, subscribers and viewers, 3-minute Oz Harvest Challenge. This has been a really fun, entertaining podcast. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Buckets. And
But basically, what we're doing is trying to figure out what we're going to eat tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. If you've got an idea.
and if there are any chefs out there, here's your challenge. You're a chef, make it. So yeah, that's it from us tonight. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to spending more time with you next week, and let's have fun seeing those photos. Until then, good night.
Bye.